Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Friday, the 7th of August 2020. So the endless melt up in gold and silver saw as global stocks turn green for 2020. Apple 2 trillion any second. So the madness in the stock market continues. However, you only have to look at the gold and silver markets, as I spoke about in End of the Financial Road Part 2 and 3. If these are in a melt up, then there is a major problem with the whole of the global economy. These haven't been allowed to move to the upside for many, many years, not since we had the Great Recession, as they called it, where the banks were bailed out for 800 billion. And now, as you can see from the Market Alert in the last 10 years, it now runs into trillions to try and keep the Ponzi scheme and the fiat currency debasement alive. There's a problem here. You've got the influx into precious metals should be alarming to anybody with a modicum of understanding the financial markets, because the moves that we're seeing at the moment are vertical, and it hasn't even started yet. As I've said in the end of the financial road, that silver is the most undervalued asset on the planet. But I'm going to come back to this in a bit further on in the Market Alert. But before I do that, let's have a look at yesterday's trading session. So yesterday we can see that the German DAX in the 2-minute chart, after I recorded the Market Alert, traded up to the DP level. And you can see how it's like a magnet. It just sat there hugging it. You can also see how the market drove through the 200 MA. Doesn't matter what the market is. This is the same thing that you will see throughout. Prices attempted to move higher, but they were moved back to the downside, as you'll see there. You can see the selling coming into this bar, and now we're stuck on the DP level. And at this point, I'm looking and I can see that we have the 200 below, I have the close below, and I'm sat on the DP. So I'm looking to see if they're going to support the market at this level. The price bars are already green, so I'm not going to get an indicator. So if I'm going to buy this market, I need to have a look and just determine what's going to happen. And you can see there that the volume is very high. There's a green professional buying bar there, and you will see now a second one there. So now I know they're actually buying at this level. So the buying is coming into the market, and then I bought the market, and prices continue to move higher, and we've got another green bar there. And then I'm looking at the R1, and we'll see in a moment we get some potential weakness there. We can see profit taking coming into the market. So there's no issue with taking profits off the table there. We have got the high and the BRN above there where prices could trade to, and that's precisely what they did. They traded sideways for a moment or two. You can see that the selling is starting to drop off there, and then prices drive through with increased volume and trade up to the high. And then you can see the high up to the BRN, and then prices start to trade sideways. And if you'll notice, if I just bring this back a bit, just get it to stop, I have a look at the daily chart. I have a look, see where prices are trading. They're at the 78% retracement. They're also at the 20 bar moving average as well. And then prices trade sideways, flashing back to the daily chart just to see what's going on. And I can see in this bar here that that there is selling in the market, because prices have come off the high, the close, and there's an increase in volume as well. So I know there's a bit of weakness coming into the market here. The market's at the high, and you'll see also at that 78 as well. At that 1208, we went up to 1203. 12803 is where we went up to, and then prices moved lower. So I could see from the bigger picture where the resistance was. Then had a sell signal, and the market had to get through the R1, and you can see we've got a bit of buying coming into the market there as those that were short starting to take profits, but also it was a resistance area here, so it then became a support area. So we need to drive through this in order to move lower, and that's exactly what we see. We see the selling coming into the market, and then of course we've got the DP and the 200 MA down in the lows here. So now we've got the shorts taking profits, and again, if you see this, there's nothing wrong with taking the profits off the table when you see them buying back in. It's not a problem, even if prices move lower after. There you've got a double taking profits. However, what happens here is that the BRM becomes a resistance, as does the 5-bar moving average, and then prices move to the downside, and you'll see them trading down to the DP in a moment. You can see again, this is the only bar to close above the 5-bar moving average, and then prices trade down after closing back again another twice. You'll see prices move to the downside. We ended up in a sideways move, and then if I fast forward, you'll see prices there trading down to the DP level, and this time with huge amount of volume at this level, because this is the level that we saw the market move higher from earlier on. So again, prices then trade sideways, and that's the end of the morning session, I think. Yeah, price is now just hugging the DP level there, which you can see. So yeah, prices put in the sell signal. It's at the high. It's got that behind it as a resistance. Prices needed to drive through the R1. They did. We then see the profit taking down at the BRN. Prices then got into a sideways move, oscillating between closing above and below the 5-bar moving average, but eventually breaking and then down to the DP and the 200-bar moving average. And again, you see the buying coming into the market here, and then prices trade sideways. In the afternoon, well, we had the figures out for the unemployment claims, and they came out better than forecast. They were forecast at 1.4 million. They came out at 1.2 million thereabouts. So this was good news for the markets, and you can see prices moving higher there in the pre-market. I'm just going to fast forward. Again, you can see prices coming back to the DP level, and you can ignore that signal, and then I remove them off the chart so I'm clean and ready for the start. Now what was interesting here is we got the DP at the open, and prices closing below both the DP, the 20-bar, the 5-bar and the 200. So prices had already gone short at the beginning of the session, and this is something I don't turn up at 2:30. I like to turn up beforehand, see what's going on, and you'll see prices sitting on the close. We then get the open, and prices start to move high. We get a second bar as well, but this doesn't hold because of the weakness in the background. Prices then show the selling coming into the market and trading down to the BRN. So as we move forward, you can see that this is taken out, and prices continue towards the low. They don't quite make it to the low and trade sideways, and notice this bar here, how prices came straight back off the low, closing above the 5-bar moving average. Is an increase in volume, and then prices start to make their way back, and then get to the close, trade back to the BRN and to the 20-bar moving average, but find support also. Again, you can see the spike up in volume, prices coming off the low, closing back above the BRN, and then eventually prices taking out the close. We get a potential buy signal. We have a bit of an issue here because we've got the 200 MA in the way and also the DP level. They can be used as profit targets, but you'll also see that they are resistance levels. Prices take out the 200 MA, but don't move enough just yet to move the stop to break even. Prices then start to move higher, go through the scalp. So after trading sideways for several bars, and the market then eventually broke through and traded up to the DP level, and given that there is resistance to the left there, taking profits off the table again is not a problem, and you can see prices the volume increasing and prices closing below the DP level there. And then prices trade sideways at the DP level, managed to break through, which is a shame, because you'll see here, having a look, see where we've got any issue in the daily chart. And I also drew in the high from here, and also you can see there's a potential weakness as the market's moving up to it, but again, acting like a magnet, you'll see prices trading to this level and then stopping. And boy, did they stop when they got to this level. They just put a straight reversal, and you can see the selling there. And then we had the potential sell signal. Now we have to take out the 200 MA, the previous day's close, the DP, the BRN, and then there's the low as well. So prices start to move lower, but we do see a bit of buying pressure coming into the market as some of the traders are taking profits. Also, we've got this support here as well. Bit of a tricky area because it can quite easily reverse. And at this point, I've tried to move the stop to break even, which you can see, and there is a bit of selling driving the market lower there, and then prices break through the BRN. But watch the volume at this level. Again, you can see how the shorts are taking profit at this level, with the green bar coming into the market there. And then prices trade sideways and eventually break and trade down to the low, where again you see them buying back into the market. So that's yesterday afternoon's trades. The market, if I recall, just traded sideways thereafter. So let's have a quick look and see what the market's doing overnight. Starting off with the daily chart, you can see that we're a bit of a sideways move in the daily chart, but we've had some really good trades, even though prices are in a sideways range at the moment. But overnight, we can see that if we just scroll back a bit to the kickoff, now you can see prices there moving sharply higher to the DP and the close. They drove through it, but failed to hold, and then it became sort of a triple resistance there. Well, actually, it's a quadruple resistance. You've got the 200 MA, you've got the close, you've got the BRN and the DP, and then prices moving lower. However, currently they've managed to have a recovery, trading back up to towards the DP level. So as ever, what I'm going to do here is have a look, see where I am in the bigger picture. Prices move higher from the open. I know I've got the close and the DP in the way. If I break through there, I've got a couple of BRNs and up to the previous day's high if we get a good move. If we break to the downside and prices close below the 200 MA, then I can see that we've got a move to the downside as well of around 80 to 90 points. So I know where I am in the bigger picture, and that's really important. Okay, that covers the markets. What news have we got today? Let's just close this, and it's a big one today, isn't it? We've got the non-farm payroll today out at, let's have a look, at 1:30, and the forecast here is for a vast improvement. Trump spoke about it the other day in the figures. And if it is, then it's going to be a Friday where, again, you'll probably see Apple hit 2 trillion and the markets move to the upside as well. So 1:30, I will certainly be here having a look to see what the figures are going to be. Even the average is -5 from -1.2 as well. So, and the unemployment rate also to have dropped from 11 to 10.5. Okay, I'm going to have to end the video here, but I did want to get into the silver market, which I will do in a future edition, and also explain why I'm accumulating many positions in the spread betting forum, why I own the physical, and also how I have just returned over 400% return in a silver ETF as well. But unfortunately, time doesn't permit it in this video. So I'll see what I can do over the weekend, and also show you why I believe that $50, the all-time high in silver, is just the first starting point in this move, and why we're going to go straight through and then to $100 per ounce as well, and why it's the most undervalued asset on the planet. I've covered this, as I said earlier, in the end of the financial road, and we're seeing the whole of the financial and global economy starting to fall apart after nearly 1971, over 40 years since the gold standard was removed, and the printing presses have been smoking ever since. It all ends badly, it all ends spectacularly, and both the gold and the silver now, as you can see, silver moving up sharply, still undervalued, way undervalued, and gold now past the 2011 all-time highs. Any prospect of a second wave, more that the global economy turns to depression, the more you're going to see this flight to safety to the precious metals, and why it's important to actually have a toe in the water with these to preserve against the destruction and devaluation of all currencies, which we have seen, as we're seeing now, the unraveling of the world reserve currency, the US dollar. But anyway, that's another video. Yeah, that's it for today. It's going to be a really good weekend, sunny weekend. So enjoy the sunshine, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next.